Hey, welcome back guys. So today on this video, we're talking about the American Express Serve prepaid debit card. And more specifically, we're going to try to answer the question, should you buy one of these Amex Serve prepaid debit cards for your minor kids that are under 18, so your children? So let's go ahead and talk about this. First off, if you're not familiar with the Amex Serve prepaid debit card, it's definitely one of the more popular prepaid cards on the market right now. Basically what it is you just buy these little cards at a local retailer. I bought this one at CVS. Once you buy this card, then you can load cash onto it, green cash. Once that happens, then you can usually use it at most places that accept American Express, which is most places these days. But should you buy one of these for your kids that are under 18? That's what we're going to try to answer, but it's kind of a complicated question to answer. And in this video, I'm just going to talk about a couple of things that you might want to consider before you buy one of these for your minor kids that are under 18. The first thing you want to consider is that usually the terms of service for prepaid debit cards require you need to be 18 when you activate and register the card. So once you've bought this card, you still need to activate and register it. And part of that process is, according to federal guidelines, you must provide a lot of personal information about yourself to the card issuer. So when I activated this card, I had to provide my date of birth, my social security number, my physical address, a lot of information. And if American Express realizes that the person activating is not at the least the age of 18, then they're probably not going to be able to activate it as a reloadable prepaid debit card. So if you give this to your kids and they go to activate it, what's going to happen is Amex is going to make it so that it's more of a gift card, which means any money that you've added onto the card, your kids can use it, but once that's done, they cannot add more money into the card. You cannot add more money onto the card for them. The card basically becomes worthless and obsolete once you've used all the money off the card. Now, a lot of times when I have that discussion with other parents, usually what they say is that they're gonna go ahead and just buy the Amex Serve prepaid debit card, put it in the parent's name, and then once they get the permanent card, they're going to give that one to the kids so they can use it. They can help with their budgeting. They can send them money if there's an emergency, things like that. And that's probably a pretty good idea. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do it, but there is a couple of things you want to consider before you do that. The first of which is that once you order the permanent Amex Serve prepaid debit card, it's going to have your name on it, not your kid's name. So if they take this card and they go to buy something at Walmart or maybe 7-Eleven or something like that, it's possible that the teller does not accept it because the name on the card does not match the person who's holding the card. And that can create kind of a stressful, annoying situation for you. If you imagine your kids calling you saying, hey, we're trying to buy a candy bar at 7-Eleven, but they're saying that since the name doesn't match up, they won't let me use it. And then you're gonna have to try to talk to the teller. Probably the teller's still going to say no. You have to drive down there, maybe get in sort of an argument. As you can see, it can kind of spiral out of control. So that's the first thing you want to consider. The second of which, if you decide to put your name on the card and then give it to your kids, in a light, roundabout kind of way, your name is tied to all the transactions that they buy. And what if your kids do something illegal or buy something illegal or use it for something immoral? Then in a roundabout kind of way, your name is then tied to that transaction. And I'm not sure that's something that you would want, because again, when you activate and register it, it's going to be your name, your social, your date of birth on the card. And even if your kids don't do anything illegal, they're on the up and up, they don't do anything immoral, if they're going to be using the Amex Serve prepaid debit card on the internet scams and internet phishing scams are pretty common these days. So if your kids use this on a website that someone steals the credit card information from them, and then that person uses this card in some illegal or immoral way, is that something that you really want your name tied to? Even if you didn't do anything, even if your kids didn't do anything, it's still a possibility that it gets tied back to your name. So that's the second reason why I probably wouldn't recommend you getting an Amex Serve prepaid debit card and then registering it under your name and giving it to your kids. However, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty common practice. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have done that. In fact, if you have gotten an Amex Serve prepaid debit card and given it to your kids to help them with their budgeting or managing money and it worked out well, be sure to leave a comment below. Let the rest of us know how you did it. But hopefully you found that video useful. If so, click thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.